Good morning, people. Welcome to Step on Air. I'm Matteo, and today we have a special guest in our podcast, Valentina. Hi, Valentina. How are you?
Hello, Matteo. I'm fine, thanks. What about you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I'm a bit pale today because due to this pandemic here, I didn't weigh too much being out. So, you are an ambassador, right? Would you like to
Yes.
explain us what does it mean?
Okay. Okay, basically, to be an ambassador means to help other students, in particular international students that want to come to Pavia to study, about their doubts, their question about Pavia's life, about university, and all the stuff that are connected to university and to life in Pavia. So basically, there is a platform that is called the UniBuddy, where students, international students, can register, and then they can start chatting with the ambassadors, and they can ask whatever they want. And we try to reply and do our best to, let's say, motivate students and to be as clear as possible, because sometimes, it's not easy to understand exactly what you have to do and what you should do.
So there is an ambassador for each course of our university, for each department, or just in some particular course?
Okay, so there are the ambassadors just for the courses, for the programs that are taught in English.
Okay.
So for example, business and administration, I think something related to biology, political sciences, and engineering also.
Okay. So why did you choose to be an ambassador? I mean, it's so usual for you to make this kind of interview because for me it's the first time.
Okay, so it's the first time also for me, so that's great. This is my first, say, official interview, and but I decided to be an ambassador because when I saw the call for ambassadors on the website, I said, why not? I mean, I lived abroad 2 times. I live in Belgium and in USA, so I know how it feels to be a little bit lost when you go to a foreign country. And so I thought that maybe I could give a little contribution and as students that are coming here and with their problems, their doubts, and all the things that they want to ask.
Oh, well, you're really kind. Thank you for being our ambassador. So you've been twice abroad. Where have you been? Belgium and? Sorry?
And in USA, in Boston.
In Boston, yeah. And what about this experience? Can you tell me more, like how was there, why you were there, and which year?
Okay, so Belgium for 6 months in 2018 because I decided to take my thesis, my master thesis abroad within the Erasmus projects. And then the year after, so in 2019, I was in Boston for 6 months because I'm doing a PhD in electronic engineering, and I decided to spend a period of my PhD abroad. So
because you miss it to live abroad.
A bit. I was telling yesterday to my housemate that this year is the first year that I'm not taking a trip abroad in years. So it feels a bit weird and strange to stay in Italy all the time.
Me too. It was like super strange because every year I try to kind of travel a bit, even to have a kind of relax, or also for working or for studying. But this year was really hard. How do you feel to be like for a year, all year in Pavia instead of being abroad?
Okay, so from one point of view, it was nice because actually I spent the first lockdown with my family. So we celebrated my birthday, that is in April, all together, and it was the first time in 3 years. So from one side, it was nice to be with my family together, spend a lot of time together. But on the other side, I felt after 2 months of lockdown or something like this, I felt like in a prison. It was really a bad time, and indeed now I'm really glad that I can go to the university, even if there is this kind of second soft lockdown. But I'm really thankful to our rector that decided to keep the labs open. Of course, we are respecting all the social distancing stuff. We are wearing the mask, but it's really nice. Yes, but it's really nice to have the opportunity to go to the university every day. So I feel really lucky about that.
So you didn't live like the lockdown like I do. You are like still working or on your labs.
Yes, yes, exactly. The second lockdown, it's not total lockdown for me because I can go to the lab every day. So it's like my day schedule is the same as before, more or less.
You're living the dream. You're living the dream.
Yes.
So, what is your field of study? I mean, you told me you were an ambassador because you give me some clues. So you're studying an English course, you're an ambassador, but what is your field of study? And you study in a lab, so I can guess right now, kind of. You're an engineer, maybe, or a pharmacist.
Yes,
now you're an engineer, okay?
Yeah.
And
yes, I'm an electronic engineering. I'm into the field of photonics. So basically, I study light.
Ah, light. Okay.
Light from several points of view. It sounds really cool. Sometimes it's really stressful, but I like it. And yes, I graduated 2 years ago. Yes, in electronic engineering here in Pavia, and then I decided to go on with a PhD.
And can you tell me more about your work, like to explain to normal people that don't know anything about light? I mean, I just remember two things about when I was in high school that has a double nature, light, and that's it.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yes, that's a good starting point, actually.
Oh,
it's really something important that we learn in the first classes. So basically, I study the application of light to medicine, to biology, and to healthcare in general. So my PhD is focused on the development of optical biosensors. So, for example, now I am working on a sensor that will be used in house healthcare that is able to distinguish between different fluids and medicines that are delivered to the patient. So basically the nurse goes to the house of the patient and it puts into his blood, let's say to be simple, some medicines, and the sensor is able to distinguish and to tell if the nurse is putting the right medicine, the right drug. So it's
like an ultimate check to say if this is correct or not.
Yes, it's a check. Yes, to say, okay, you're doing good. This is the right drug for the right patient. No, stop, you are doing a mess. You have to change your liquid or your drug.
So it's like it's useful even for people that have like a lower institution in drugs or in kind of medical opportunities because it's checking everything.
Yes, because also one of the ultimate goal is that the patient can do everything by himself without the aid of a nurse. So it's really also important for the patient because he can treat himself without more or less the aid of someone that is external to him.
It's amazing, it's amazing. And you're working on it in your PhD? So you're going to develop this or just studying?
No, it's something feasible. Actually, I'm working on the lab on this. So we have really, I think that if we will be lucky, next spring or next summer, we will have a prototype.
Amazing. I mean, with the vaccination of COVID, we have the biometrical sensor with the that help patients. Yeah, I mean it's a goal for humanity. Thank you for helping humanity. I mean this is the dream of every scientist, I guess.
Yes, it's really nice when I think that when you are doing a PhD, it's really nice to work on something that could be useful. Because sometimes you are working in the lab and you think, okay, why am I doing this? Is this useful for someone? So working on something that has an application in the real world is really satisfying for a researcher, in my opinion.
I'm really happy for you, and I'm really happy that you are doing something so great. But well, we can come back a little bit because you're a great scientist, but you are also an ambassador. So tell me more about this work. How many hours did you take you off?
I can't tell actually because we have this platform and where you can chat with the students, and so it's like having another app on your phone like Facebook or Instagram. So I just check my app when I see some notifications and I just reply. I mean, it's not really a work for me, but it's also pleasure. So because you can chat with students that are coming from all over the world, so it's really fancy.
Okay, okay, I get it. And about the city, you told that it's a perfect place for studying engineer because it's a little city. Do you know lots of people that make the same course as you do, or you're like the only one that doing this PhD about the light and about the future healthcare?
Okay, so the PhD program is not really big in Pavia, so we are like at the moment we are more or less 10 people working in the field of photonics. There are not many places available because these are scholarships that are funded by the government, and so it's every year there are, I think, 5 positions available or something like this. But in the master course, we were, of course, in a higher number. We were in the course of electronic engineering, we were about 40 people, and there were a lot of people coming from abroad. So, in particular, from a lot of people coming from Iran, from India, and also from Africa.
Okay, so let me have a little recap because you give me lots of information and I'm not in the field, so I want to know more. So you do a master program, and after a master program, you can be selected for a PhD.
You can just get your master degree, and then you can stop, and then you can look for a job in a company, or you can take a PhD abroad. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities. But if you want, you can stay in Pavia. There is a call, and you can apply for this call, and then there is an interview, there is an examination of your CV and something like this, and then there is a ranking. And if you are in the
Available.
higher position of the ranking, yes, you get the scholarship.
Well, I guess that for a person that went to study in Belgium and in USA to decide to have this PhD in Pavia, I guess it's an honor. I mean, that you make this choice.
I think that the PhD in Pavia is really, how can I say, it's really good because the electronic school in Pavia is really good. So actually, I had the opportunity to stay in Belgium because my professor there asked me if I want to stay there. But I decided to come back to Italy also because I didn't want to be one of those brains that are escaping from Italy, let's say. I decided to stay, and because I think that also in Italy you can do a lot of things. So I want to trust this idea, and I decided to stay.
You want to make you want to make Italy a normal place. Just
Yes,
the
exactly.
experience of being abroad. I mean, knowing how to be better and explaining here in Italy.
Yes, but okay, it's not that everything abroad is better than here. This is an important point. And I think you discover it, you understand it just if you live abroad. Because sometimes in Italy we have there is this trend to say, okay, everything is bad here, everything is not working. Okay, that partially true. There are a lot of things that are not perfect, but there are also a lot of things that are working pretty good, and you understand it just after you saw how things are working abroad.
I get it. I'm really agree with you, but just maybe I can explain myself a little better. Sometimes when you're abroad, you said, well, that's better in Italy. Not only because of this, but because you really miss it. Because it's really easy to miss Italy for a lot of little stuff that you can even imagine. But when you're abroad, you say, well, I really miss this about Italy. I mean, it happened to me. I don't know about you.
I agree. I missed a lot, for example, my family when I was abroad, but both times, so when I was in Belgium and also when I was in Boston, at the end of my experience, I didn't want to come back at all. So I was missing Italy, but I really enjoyed the experience there from several points of view. But I think that from, let's say, a PhD point of view, sometimes you can learn better here because, for example, there is a little bit less competition in Italy, I think, between among PhD students, and also professors are kinder and more helpful. Abroad, the PhD situation is a little bit different, and sometimes you just lose your time and you didn't learn nothing at all. So it's not just a matter of I miss my country, but also it's just a matter of here I can learn things better. Then, of course, abroad, universities are much richer. They have a lot of funding, a lot of money, so you can buy everything. It's like to be in the heaven of scientists. And here it's really different because you don't have all the instrumentation. You have to pay attention about what to buy. You have to make some decisions. So of course there are drawbacks, but I think that the vibes are nicer here, are more friendly.
A little question that is a bit different because you told me about your ambassador life, you told me about your work life, you told me about your trips life. But I'm going to make you a little awkward question. Did you ever be part of an association, or have you ever dreamed to be part of?
Okay, so I'm part of an engineering association that is called the IEEE. It's a worldwide organization that gathers together all the engineering coming from every corner of the world. And we have a student branch association here in Pavia, and I am the chair of this student branch. And actually, I'm also the chair of the Women Engineering Student Branch, which is, let's say, the women association within the IEEE that tries to promote the role of women in STEM and in particular in engineering.
So thank you for being here, and thank you for all people that are watching us. And for contact us, just write on the email below. So goodbye, people. Hi, Valentina. Thank you for being here today.